So, you want to be a runner, but not too sure how to fuel yourself? Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Wright, an accredited nutritionist, and I specialize in helping people all across the world achieve their goals without silly fad diets. This may surprise you, but running can actually be quite fun after you get the first few runs under your belt and you're no longer gasping for air. As you find yourself getting more and more into running, you'll soon realize I want to go fast and not feel like I'm about to collapse. It's normal to feel that way, unsurprisingly. Your training program and schedule will obviously play an important part in your running development, but there is one thing that many runners overlook: their fuel. Why nutrition matters for running. It goes without saying, but running can be an incredibly tough form of training, and depending on the duration and intensity of a run, as well as the environment in which you ran, running can result in a depletion of existing glycogen stores, which are your internal carbohydrate stores, an increase in protein oxidation, which means breakdown, skeletal muscle breakdown, and a reduction in circulating electrolyte levels as well as overall hydration levels thanks to increased and prolonged sweating. All of these factors can severely impede your performance and recovery, not just in a single session, but even in a subsequent training session, either in the same day or in the days that follow. Never fear, this is where being a nutrition expert comes into play. Your goals with your dietary intake around running should be to have a glycogen sparing effect and/or to restore your glycogen stores, to reduce protein breakdown, to increase muscle protein synthesis, to restore any loss in electrolyte levels, and finally, to optimize hydration levels and ultimately avoid dehydration. To achieve all of these goals, you want to focus on these 3 pillars of exercise nutrition: when to time your intake, what you plan to have, and which supplements can help. Running your fastest ever 5K. The 5K is a relatively straightforward run to fuel for. It's not really a long enough run, either in distance or time, to be overly concerned with bringing fluids and food along with you, so a lot of the work centered around performance will really be in the pre-run lead up. So, where to start? Firstly, your energy source. Carbohydrates are your best friend here. They are the body's primary energy source and not only allow us to perform better during exercise, but can also help spare our own glycogen stores, which may lead to better recovery, as well as prolonging and sustaining our performance. There are 3 important points to remember when it comes to carbohydrate: the timing, the type, and the serving size. For talk's sake, let's say you're in the 60 minutes before a run. Our body has an estimated maximal capacity for carbohydrate uptake of around 60 grams per hour. To ingest amounts beyond that can lead to gastrointestinal distress. Trust me, the last thing you want to feel while you're running is your gut starting to gurgle. While you can work around this by having multiple carbohydrate sources and/or training your gut, which can be more beneficial to elite runners who need that edge, for a 5K, we'll try and keep it simple. You may also be wondering, Jamie, is there a minimum amount of carbohydrate I can have and still feel some benefit? Very good question. There is indeed. While there are a few figures quoted, 20 grams of carbohydrate has been found to be a sufficient amount to provide a performance benefit. So, you'll want to aim for between 20 to 60 grams of carbohydrate in that hour leading up to your run. A few simple ideas for that would be a banana chips, bagel, an English muffin, a flapjack, or 1 or 2 pieces of toast with jam or honey. Bananas are a great choice for more than just carbohydrate content. They're also a great source of electrolytes and help to contribute to your fluid intake as well. That expertly brings me on to my next point for nailing your fastest 5K: hydration. If it is particularly hot or humid outside, then you may also want to consider bringing some fluids with you. Given that most 5K runs can be finished within 20 to 45 minutes, you may not need to, but I would certainly advise you to have some fluids with electrolytes on hand for after your run. Speaking of after your run, you'll also want to have yourself a high quality source of protein and even a similar size serving of carbohydrate to what you had before you ran. This is all intended to optimize recovery and ensure that your body has the pieces it needs to rebuild, repair, and adapt to allow you to run even faster in your next 5K. One final tip for your 5K, and this may be more for the seasoned runner rather than the fledgling jogger, is to consider caffeine. While you'll likely want to hold back on caffeine for much longer runs, simply to maintain a steady heart rate, minimize further loss of water and electrolytes, and avoid needing to go to the toilet, you may be able to get away with it here, especially if you're planning on a PR. Research suggests that between 3 to 8 milligrams per kilogram of body weight elicits the greatest benefit for both performance and enhanced recovery, but I would suggest being more conservative with it and not loading yourself up with so much caffeine that you start hearing colours and seeing sounds. Nailing your 10k and 15k. Many of the same principles apply from 5k to the 10k and even the 15k. There are certain elements you do want to pay more attention to, however, and even consider adding in a few more strategies. Firstly, fueling beyond the 60 minutes leading into a run. If you want to fuel like an elite endurance athlete, they aim for anywhere between 8 to 12 grams of carbohydrate per kilogram of body weight per day. That's a hell of a lot of pasta, I can tell you that. If that seems a bit daunting, researchers have also proposed 1 to 4 grams of carbohydrate per kilogram of body weight per day as an adequate amount for people exercising longer than 90 minutes per day. I wouldn't change too much of the approach laid out for the 5k in terms of that 60 minutes leading up, but you may want to squeeze in a higher carbohydrate meal a few hours before that just to help top out your glycogen stores. Similarly, you'll also want to keep the electrolytes and the fluid intake up, but you'll need to bring those with you on your run for definite this time. Athletes can lose anywhere between 0.5 to 2 litres of water per hour, so you'll want to at least have a half litre on hand or provided to you for those longer runs. You'll also want them to contain electrolytes too, to avoid cramping, headaches, reduced performance and more. While you're running, I would also advise you to have a few carbohydrate gels on hand or to have a carbohydrate mix in your fluids. This is all aimed to spare your existing glycogen stores, provide a readily available source of energy, optimize performance, and enhance the post-run recovery. Gels are a tricky one as some people can get upset stomachs from having them if they're not used to them. If you are going to incorporate gels, I'd advise having one every 30 to 40 minutes of running completed, and if you're intending to use them in a race or competition, make sure that you train with them first. There is nothing worse than stomach cramps or the gurgles midway through a distance run, especially without a bathroom in sight. Focusing on all these diet-related tactics will help you nail a 10k or even a 15k PR. Be sure to follow similar recovery guidelines to the 5k and have a high-quality source of protein post-run and a serving of carbohydrate too. Let us know how you get on in your next training run and if these tips helped you to run faster. Share your PRs and thoughts in the comments below. And finally, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Myprotein YouTube channel for more helpful content, and be sure to keep asking the team questions so we can keep providing you with more evidence-based answers.